Good evening, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving Eve. We just wanted to come to y'all and talk about Giving Tuesday. I Give Catholic.
Yeah.
Next Tuesday on December the 3rd. Thank you for your support. So we just have a couple of things that we want to explain what we've done in the past year.
The day before Giving Tuesday will be a whole year that we've been serving our local diocese in the Acadiana area. So I just wanted to recap how quickly it's really grown and how many families we were able to serve in 1 year. We also started the next month, in January of 2019, with our support groups. And over the last year, we've had about 30 new families who have registered for our support groups. So over the course of the last year, we've served 80 families.
About 80 families that
we're sitting here
figured it out.
Yeah,
because
totally.
we never really, well, we have it written down, I guess, but we never really went back and looked and realized it was that many people that were touched by Redbird. Then in September this year, we had our first Dad's Retreat. We had 3 sponsorships. We had 6 dads total, which out of those 6, we had 3 sponsorships offered. We had 2 deacons that served, who had also experienced the loss of children. So it was really, really touching to hear their stories, and for the guys to hear their side of the stories as well. We had 2 priests that served. One was Father Miley, who lost his wife and has become a priest since. And then Father Stephen Pellice, that gave a talk as well.
So in October, at Mom's Retreat, who was rectored by Kristen Dunbar, I need to give her a big old shout out. She came to me with this idea, which led to the Dad's Retreat, but she came to me with this idea that God had shared with her in adoration. She wanted to do a Grieving Moms Retreat. And so we were able to pull that off under her direction. We had 26 moms that registered. 11 out of the 26 moms applied for sponsorships. We had 8 leaders who served, so 8 women who served the moms, in addition to the 26 moms. We had 5 priests who served our families, 1 with Mass, and the other 4 with confession and spiritual direction. And we had 4 spiritual directors that we brought in to help so that everyone would have the opportunity to go to spiritual direction. So our goals for 2020, so what we're raising money for is super important, and we need everyone's help. So we would appreciate if you'd share this video with whoever, on your Facebook page, if you could just share it and ask them to watch. So our goals for 2020, we'll start out, our first new thing that we're doing in 2020 is we're gonna start online workshops so that people around the country, I know I belong to a couple of different Facebook groups. One of them is Mommy Tell Little Saint, and I've had quite a few out of state moms who've reached out to me, different, one in California, I had one in Arizona who reached out. So our families across the United States will be able to log in for $10. So that's our new thing. So January 15th, if you want to log in and reserve your spot, it's going to be led as couples, but if you want to do it as an individual, you can. And the topic is being stoic for your spouse. So just to kind of help each other, to love each other through that.
Probably our biggest goal for 2020 is going to be to start a grandparents group, support group. We had some grandparents that asked if we would be interested in starting something, and we told them yes, but we needed their help and we needed other people's help. So if you know of any grandparents that would be interested to lend a hand, I think it would be a huge step, for those grandparents that maybe don't know that their actually grieving, I think it would be a big help.
Yeah. Our next goal for 2020 is to finish fundraising for our grief support program. We had Cardinal Studios that flew in a couple weeks ago to film the Dunbar story, and so they did that from the money that we raised from the soiree. So we raised probably about, I think I want to say it was almost $30,000 that we raised. Some of it went towards our out-of-pocket expenses for like our lawyers to, you know, achieve non-profit status and other expenses that we had to start the ministry. But we took $25,000 of it and sent it to Cardinal Studios so that they could help us to lay out the foundational work, because we've never done any type of course production for the Catholic Church before, and so we really needed their help. And once they got here, I can just remember sitting at the table and like, thank you God for sending them to us, because they really know what they're doing. And so they filmed the Dunbar stories, and they're gonna turn the video over to us afterwards to help us to fundraise, so that we can show you guys what we're trying to do, like how we're trying to recreate what we're doing locally to those who don't want to come to support, you know, who are having a hard time getting out of their house, and throughout the country, because there isn't anything in the Catholic Church that has an accredited, proven program with a curriculum for grief support.
Yeah, we at our last workshop, we actually had a couple that flew in from South Carolina, Josh and Catherine, and there are 5 kids.
Yeah.
So he Googled grief support, and Redbird, Catholic grief support, and Redbird came up, and he contacted Kelly, and Kelly contacted contacted Kelly, and they spoke, and you know they needed a place to stay, and so Kelly called me, and just a short story. And she was like, baby, they really want to come, you know, but they need a place to stay. They have 5 kids. I'm like, well, tell them to stay with us, you know? And Kelly was like, I was thinking the same thing. Wow. So
we were able to host them here at our house and serve them, which was incredible, because it just, you know, in opening our hearts to them, like we heal too, you know, it's a constant journey for grief loss. So that's going to be our next step. And then we're going to, like, our anticipation is that we're going to raise the rest of the money, finalize and pilot our grief program here locally first. So we did something a little different when we were laying out some foundational work. We're going to do some individual tracks first, where our grieving moms will talk to our grieving moms, and our grieving dads will talk to our grieving dads. And then over the course of times, their tracks will
meet up eventually.
Yeah, they'll cross over so that they can then journey together. So then that's our next goal.
Yep. Kelly actually is in the final stages of publishing a book that she wrote about grief, and tell us the name.
Okay, it's called Hiding in the Upper Room: How the Sacraments Healed My Grief of Child Loss. So after my conversion and after my healing, I looked back and realized that I was healed through the sacraments. And so I was trying to find books out there that just would help me to go further and to understand what happened to me. And I realized that there was none. There was none that specifically spoke to couples of loss, that have lost a child. The fire's falling, but who have spoken to, directly to couples of loss and shown them how the sacraments healed them. So that was very important. So I wrote a book, and it's in final edit. It's about to be, I forget what's the type text or whatever, and my cover is about to I hired a guy to paint it. So it's gonna be an original art. So that's gonna hopefully early 2020. And then we have some new news. You wanna share that with them? Of something that we've just decided in the last 2 weeks for the future of Redbird.
the the new news that we're talking about. We're talking about extending our grief support program throughout the church for grandparents, siblings, and spouses of parents. So in 2020, that'll be another
Yeah, we're gonna
big
start
push.
Yeah. We're gonna start laying out our goals. So like our first, like I was saying, we're gonna touch the individual grief. Our second part is where the couples link, and then we'll start on a program for grandparents. And then once at each section we'll be fundraising. So this might take a couple years to do, but we're hoping that in the future that Redbird will be the touch to the church for grief, that the church will like look to Redbird to create these materials and course production so that we can help our parishes, so we can help our priests,
all those people grieving, and
our families.
Help the priests to have some kind of something to fall back on.
Yeah.
Because as much as loving and as understanding and compassionate as they are, unfortunately, a lot of them have never. Fortunately, a lot of the priests have not suffered loss.
Yeah. Or
So-
sometimes I think that, when you don't, having gone through something, it's hard to watch out for people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I notice things in couples of loss that someone who hasn't lost a child, just to be aware and to reach out, when everybody goes back, to their normal life, that they have a support system. So that's our new news. I mean, which is really incredible to think that we'll be able to do that.
To
and
reach
serve.
that many
Yeah.
people, in a small area. We hope that all of you have a wonderful and happy Thanksgiving with your family and friends. And
To continue an attitude of gratitude. And what you're thankful for. To start off your day with what you're thankful for, because it's important.
and to end your day as well.
Yep.
To definitely, because it's one thing that we try to do. We don't do it every night, but we try and we pray every night. We don't actually say, hey, what are you thankful for?
Yeah.
So, today I'm thankful for my family and all my family and all my friends and all the support that people have showed towards Redbird and all the families and the needs of the families that have suffered just the unimaginable. So.
Yeah, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful for my faith, and I'm thankful for my family, and just for God's grace that He's allowed us to journey through loss, and even through the trenches. Even when I was angry, He's given us the grace to get out of it. So I think I'm really thankful for that. That's been at the forefront of my mind lately, just staying close to Him.
All right, guys. So y'all have a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving.